All right. Hey, everyone. Mark here. Mark P Markets. Thank you for joining me for another Bitcoin video analysis session. And if you notice today, I'm wearing a shirt. You like my shirt? I think it looks much better. Anyway, I appreciate some of the feedback I got from that little wardrobe malfunction. I got some rainbow stickers. Thanks. Anyway, thank you for joining my stream. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Mark Principato, Mark P Markets. I'm a chartered market technician. And I just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. Okay, cool. So yeah, I see you guys can hear me. So if you're new to the stream, let me explain to you how this works real quick. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the economic calendar very quickly. Then we're going to talk about this Bitcoin chart. All right, I wrote my TradingView analysis yesterday, and we have some new information here to talk about. All right, and we're going to talk about the 50K scenario and what needs to happen in order for that scenario to be more likely. All right, and then we're going to look for trades, okay, using TradeScanner Pro. Now, if you want to try out the TradeScanner Pro, it's my script that Stian helped me develop, and it's very interesting, okay? We just pushed an update yesterday, so we have a new feature that I can show you on here. And anyway, if you want to try it for free, there's a 14-day free trial. There's a link in the description. Make sure to check that out, okay? 14 days free. I mean, I can't make it any better than that. Also, you'll notice in the description, there's a couple of links for MEXC and Bybit, okay? Those are affiliate links, and those are Stian's affiliate links. So by opening an account and then putting money in the account and then placing trades, Stian gets a small cut of your commission, and it goes a long way into helping him do what he is doing. I mean, he just put together a back testing version of the script, and he shared some information in the community chat over on the Discord server. There's a link for that in the description as well, and it's very interesting. Okay, so if you haven't seen that, check that out. All right, so let's get started. All right, let me pull my slide up here. All right, so this is for educational purposes only. For investment advice, please consult a licensed investment advisor. All right, and hello to my people, Kai. Okay, cool. The unboxing channel, he's back. Maybe he's unboxing something new today. And Stian, by the way, if you want to share what city or what country you are from, that's always a fun fact. I'm streaming from the greater New York City area, also known as Northern New Jersey. Okay, I only have 16 people watching. What is going on? It must be spring break or something. People must be away. All right. Anyway, I am on Twitter and I am on Rumble as well. So, Stian, if you could just take a look at the Rumble channel. If anyone's typing in anything over there, if you could just let me know. If you're watching me on Rumble, just come over to YouTube. It's just easier, and you can ask me questions. All right. So now, Denmark. Okay, cool. Welcome. Florida. I love Florida. I love Florida. Belgium. It's almost like a city in the U.S. Almost. I don't know if that's a good thing, Stian. Have you seen what's going on in some of the cities here? Anyway, okay, so let's get into this. Now, first thing is the economic calendar, right? Sometimes I like to read through it myself, and then I like to tell you. Other times, I like you to read through it and tell me, because it's a good exercise. The reason why we even go over the economic calendar is just to make sure that you're not getting into something before some kind of major event that can really make a mess of your position if you were not expecting a range expansion, which can be the result of an economic event usually. Okay, so anyone want to tell me what's going on this week in the economic calendar? Because the reason why I like to give it to you and make you answer sometimes is because I like to see what you guys say, what you guys think is important, and then I can tell you what is and what isn't important. Okay. I want to say it has the size of some of the cities in the U.S. Okay, but Stian, Belgium is probably a little better in a little better situation than what's going on here. Not all the cities here, but the city near me has got some problems. All right. So anyone want to take a guess at the economic calendar? What we have this week? You know, again, you should be prepared for this. I should show the economic calendar now that I'm not on TradingView anymore. I can like show stuff now, but I don't have it on me right now. I don't have the thing. So I want you guys to tell me, what do we have on the economic calendar that's worth paying attention to? You guys tell me. Milad, how are you? Oh, sorry, Milad. I know you may take offense to that. Milad, how you doing? And he's in New York. He's my only New Yorker that watches me. He watches me every week from New York. I don't know, Milad. I've been watching some. I know, like they're fake YouTube guys. I've been watching them, and they have nothing but bad things to say about New York City. Anyway, but again, those are fake YouTube. They're just trying to get attention. I get it. I understand. It's not as bad as they say it is. I understand. Interest rates. Okay. Fed interest rate decision on Wednesday. Okay, cool. You guys, that's a good call. Anything else? Do we have anything else before then? Now, the FOMC meeting, which is on Wednesday, which is what is that? Is that May 1st? Can you believe it's May 1st on Wednesday? That usually comes out. The interest rate decision is at 2 p.m. Eastern time, followed by a press conference at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. Now, that is a big piece of information. That's a big report. If there are any surprises in that outcome, there could be a range expansion because the dollar moves, and when the dollar moves, everything moves. Okay, so just be prepared for that, especially if you day trade. Now that I have a number of people on TradeScanner Pro, a number of them are probably putting on day trades. So you have to be careful going into such a number. Don't go into it unaware. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Anything can happen. Hey, Alex, how are you? Anything else? Do we have anything else this week worth mentioning? Anything on Friday by any chance? Anything else? So FOMC is probably the number one item. Do we have anything else this week? You guys want to guess real quick, and then we'll move on to this chart. Anything? Still consolidating. Yes, it is. We're going to talk about that here in a moment. Job data for April, Milad said. So is that called non-farm payrolls by any chance? NFP? The job report? Would you say? Because there's a couple of job reports that come out. There's like ADP, like the day before usually you have like the ADP employment number or something like that. There's usually a couple of them, right? But like the ADP one's not that important. Right? It's non-farm payrolls. That's the one. That's a big move. That's probably next to the FOMC meeting. That's probably the most important meeting or most important piece of information that comes out. It comes out the first Friday of every month. So we have non-farm payrolls. Right. Okay. So that comes out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. It's usually the first Friday. Okay. Sometimes they move it to the second Friday. I guess it depends on the whatever. Usually like a holiday gets in the way or something. But it's the first Friday of every month typically. And if there are any surprises, you can see a massive move right across the board. So again, don't get, hey, Nugs, welcome to TradeScanner Pro. I got you hooked up quick. So again, just be prepared. If you go into those numbers, like, and you have a position on, maybe you take a position the day before and look, I'll hold on to it overnight. And you don't realize that 8:30 a.m. the next day, this number can come out and it could come out against you, and it can be very painful. Okay. So the whole point of this is to be aware so that you can adjust positions and manage your risk more effectively. That is the whole point. All right. You guys got that? Let's move on. All right. From Minnesota. Cool. All right. Now, you have a trade on, man. This guy don't waste time. He don't waste. This guy just started his 14-day free trial, and he has a trade on. Nice job. Let us know how it goes. All right, and we're gonna talk about the trade scanner in the stream, so don't worry. I'll have some more info for you because we have a new feature on there that you may not be aware of. All right, so let's talk now about Bitcoin real quick, and I want to get this over quickly so we can get into the trade scanner and look for trades. Now, as you know, in my report, I talked about the possibility of the pullback, right? And this bounce, which you can see the illustration on the chart. Let me make the chart bigger. You don't need to see my big head. Okay, there we go. But at least I'm wearing a shirt today. At least you guys have that luxury. All right. So, again, I talked about this. This line, this illustration over here was the scenario that I'm anticipating for this week. We're still not out of the possibility of this. Okay, this is still possible, although the signal that I described on my analysis pretty much stopped out. And the signal that I described was this pin bar, you can see I have an arrow pointing at it, right? This pin bar, and the pin bar high was taken out yesterday here. See that? But the candle closed weak. This is a daily time frame. So, intraday when I wrote my report, this candle was like, fooling around. It wasn't bearish yet. It was just kind of like in between, So it closed as a bearish pin bar. Now, a bearish pin bar at such a location is not exactly bearish. So you have to keep that in mind. This can be a bullish pattern. But the thing is, look at the next candle. Look at today's candle. It took out that low and it made a lower low. So this basically, if you used the bottom of this pin bar to define your risk, which is what I wrote about, you would have been stopped out. Okay. And that would have been like what, 850 points or something like that. And that's to be expected on the daily time frame. You mean that's a lot of money. Well, what's the high? Let's see, what's the high here? 63,903, and the low is 62,405. So actually, I'm sorry, that's more. That's like 1,400 points or something, or 1,500 points. But again, that's typical risk on this time frame. Okay, which reminds me, this week, probably on Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday, I'm going to do the student meeting that we have. I'm probably going to do an open invite so that everyone will be welcome to join it. But in that meeting, I'm going to talk about position sizing and the trade scanner. Okay, position sizing and trade scanner pro, because that's a very important topic that if you don't get that right, you're going to have problems. Okay, so we're going to talk about position sizing in that meeting. And I have some information to share on that. Anyway, so if you want to be part of that, just make sure you're in the Discord community, because that's probably where I'll put the link for the when I run the meeting. All right, now, and my members, of course, will get an invite early so they can register early. So this situation right here, this happens, okay? But if you're not in this trade and you're watching and you're waiting and you're like, well, what do I do now? We're still fooling around a support area, and this can turn into a higher low. Currently, this is another pin bar, but it's not closed, okay? So if we get a candle tomorrow that looks like this, we're gonna have a long signal. There'll be another long signal, and that long signal is coming from this minor support. That's what this line, this rectangle I drew here, that's a minor support level because it touched a few times. Look, see that? See the touch, right? It touched over here, okay? There's some action back here. See that? It touched over here. So there's some action in this area, right? Some people do something. There's something here. And as you can see, we broke through it, but we broke through it temporarily because we have a tail on the current candle. So if we get a green close tomorrow and it's above this candle, that's a new signal on this time frame, okay? And that may lead to this scenario, which, I'm anticipating for this week, which can test 69K. Now, 69K may be a little optimistic, all right? And a more reasonable area to measure profit potential from would be this area right here, okay? Now, if you use the Trade Scanner Pro, let me just give you an example real quick of what you can do. In this current location, right? Of course, you'd be using a smaller time frame. You could use this on the daily chart, by the way. People often ask that question. You could use it on any time frame you want. It's just the signals are going to be more sparse. They're going to be less frequent on this time frame, and your risk is going to be greater. You're better off working with a 4-hour chart, in my opinion. But my point is this. In this location, okay, if we hold this, okay, and your smaller time frames are showing you a bearish trend, you switch to counter trend mode. And if you get a signal on counter trend mode in this area, that may be a winner to ride. If you get the push and you have maybe a couple of lots on, this thing starts to run, that's a potential runner. That's where you can kind of gauge, should I try to give the runner a chance? If it comes from this location, yes. Okay, but the signal comes from the 4-hour time frame, and your risk will be smaller than the risk on this time frame. All right, now let's address the 50K scenario. What's that all about? Why am I talking about 50K? Shouldn't I be talking about 150 million K like everyone else? Oh, Bitcoin's going to go to $1 billion by tomorrow, right? How come I'm not talking about that? Because I'm going to show you why. This is what you need to pay attention to. Today is what, the 29th, right? So we're going to start a new month on Wednesday, correct? We're going to start May, right? This is how April is closing on the monthly. That's the first bearish candle we have seen in months. Okay, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Basically, this is the 8th month. We have not seen a bearish candle in 7 months, basically. Okay, and we're getting our first bearish candle close on the monthly. This is an important piece of information. This is why I'm bringing this up and why I mentioned why 50K is a possibility. If we take out the low of this candle, which happens to be 60K, right? Look, low 59,629. That's the 60K level, right? The consolidation level. If we take out the low, first week of May or second week of May, that will be a sell signal on this time frame. That opens up the possibility of a more significant pullback. Okay, so please recognize where we are in the bigger picture. This is why I tell people too, make sure you respect the stops. It's very important. If you take a long at 60K, for example, and this thing breaks, this thing can get, there's some possibility here of pulling back significantly, right, into the mid 50s, maybe the lower 50K area over the coming month. We have not seen a bearish candle in a long time. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Just because 60K is the support right now doesn't guarantee it will hold. Markets are highly random. They're not always random, right? They're not 100% random, but they are highly random. And there's no way to know if that support will continue to hold. If it breaks, that's a new piece of information. So if we close below like 59.5 and we're pushing 59, whatever, that means the party is over, right? Look back here, for example, when we had a bearish close here on this month. When was this? That was November of 2021, right? And it took out the low. There was some pullback there, as you can see, over the next couple of months. So please keep that in mind. That's the 50K scenario. That opens up the possibility. We're clearly not closing strong. And now keep in mind, the next candle may be like an inside bar, right? We get like an inside bar over here the coming month. That would actually be a bullish sign if we take out the high of the inside bar. That would be the bullish scenario if it would do something like this. Okay, see that? But we don't know what we're going to get. There's no way to know. All these people that claim to know the future are fooling themselves and fooling you, whether they know it or not. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Are you guys clear on that? So that's the scenarios I wanted to go over. Any questions? Let me see what the chat is saying. Okay, like and subscribe. Oh, thanks, Alex. Yeah, do me a favor, people. Alex says here, please like and subscribe to the channel. That helps me out, as I try to develop the channel further. I want to bring you better content and stuff like that. So anything helps. So do me that favor. I appreciate it. You should have used the script. There was no signal. What are you talking about? Hey, Steven, what do you mean? There was no signal? Oh, on the Bitcoin. Well, no, see, these are the signal that I'm describing is my personal signal, which is not going to be exactly the script. I'm just looking at basically the candle situation and the level. The script takes it a step further. So yeah, if I had used the script, I would have been filtered out and there would have been no trade, right, at all. So that would have been a stop that you would have been able to avoid. The script works really well with that. Okay. So anyway, we're going to talk about that. Thanks, Dean, for pointing that out. And so we got Giovanni from Mexico. Mucho gusto. Buenvenido. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Qué tal estás? I'm trying to speak Spanish. When I'm on the spot, it's harder for me to speak Spanish, but I could speak some Spanish. Puedo hablar algunas español. Okay, anyway, double bottom, Giovanni asks. So that's a possibility, okay? That's a possibility. Right now, it's potential high or low. We could see the double bottom, but if it breaks, my key point here is if this breaks, this is the bottom of that monthly candle, okay? This is the bottom right here of the monthly candle. We take that out, we're looking at some selling activity. So please keep that in mind. This is most important for people that are especially thinking bigger picture and investing. And they're like, oh, here, we're pull back over here. I'm going to buy a whole bunch. this thing can break and we can see better prices. That's a possibility. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if it will happen because I don't know the future. The market tells me what it wants to do, and I listen to the market. I don't assert my own opinions and ideas, especially on this time frame. Okay, makes sense? Tomorrow, Binance founder expected to be, oh, how nice. Since if that moves the market, possibly, I don't know, but they're going to put him in jail too. Maybe they'll put him next to SBF. They could be cellmates, maybe, or something. That would be funny. All right. Anyway. All right. So are we cool on this? Any questions about Bitcoin and my Bitcoin analysis here? Any questions or comments? Look, I know it's easy to get wrapped up in opinions, especially with all the garbage that's thrown at you all day long. And, you know, and look at this and look at that and look at this magic thing here and blah, 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 blah. If you want to get a good gauge of the markets, less is more. As I always tell people, less is more. Markets do trend. That's why they are not 100% random. Okay. So if you consider the trend structure, which in this case would be bullish, and this area is still a higher low, the broader higher low, then there's still a possibility that we can go higher. So that's one scenario. But you also have to look at the other scenario. What if we break the support? And whichever way the market chooses, then that's where you start gauging risk from. So if we break that support, then that's going to be good for small time frame shorts, okay? And that's going to maybe offer some opportunities for bigger picture longs like investing, but we need to start tapping some more relevant levels, right? Like 55, 54, something like that. Those would be good investing levels. If you know this in advance, you can be prepared if the market decides to present that scenario. The market leads, right? The market speaks, we listen. All right, cool. All right, guys, so you good on that? I want to move on to the trade scanner. Because, you know, I talk all this time and then I miss moves on the trade scanner. Okay, cool. So any questions? I'm going to jump over the trade scanner here in a second. So if you're not familiar with the trade scanner, all right, I'm going to put this on my screen here. If you go to this link, I'm going to type the link in the chat. All right, hold on a second. I'm going to put it in the chat. It's a bit.ly link. TSCPRO. Okay, make sure I spell it correctly. All right, so if you go to this link in the chat, and I'm gonna show it on the screen, right? TSCPRO. It'll take you to this page. This is my website, okay? Market Signals Pro, and it's taking you to the Trade Scanner Pro tab on the web page. Okay, if you scroll through here, it explains how it works. You see some pictures, okay? Picture of me, I'm wearing a shirt, and then it takes you over here, right? You scroll here. And you can see try 14 days for free. This is where you sign up for the free trial. Okay. If you want to do yearly, you get save 25%. You know, if you want to do monthly, you just switch it over. It's $30. And you have to make sure that when you sign up, you want to make sure that it says here, make sure you put your TradingView username in the field, which is over here, right? Make sure you do that up here. Okay. Over here, right there. That's where you want to put it, because otherwise I can't send you the invite, okay? So please make sure to do that. And again, these prices that you see, $22.50 and $30 a month, those prices are introductory. This tool is worth a lot more, okay? And you will find that out for yourself if you test it out. I mean, just look at Stian's back testing in the community chat over on the server, okay? This this is cheap. I'm too low on these prices. So that means I'm gonna be raising them. I don't know when, but I want to give you a chance to get it and you lock it in at a low price. Okay, so that's where you find it. This is where the information is. I encourage you to sign up and start your 14-day trial and see how it works yourself. Just make sure after you sign up to give me a couple of hours to send you the invite. Okay, please remember that. All right, now let's move over to it. And here is the Trade Scanner Pro on the NASDAQ 100. Now, I want to show you something, right, before we get to it. Well, I think we'll look at Ethereum today, okay? But I know that the Trade Scanner is on my chart because you can see this up here, because there's nothing on the chart. You're like, yeah, okay. Yeah, well, it's running because I see this up here, okay? Also, I can see it over here, right? It says Trade Scanner Pro, Market Signals Pro, 1.5. That 1.5 is the reward risk setting, which you can change, right? It's 1.5 to 1 when the trade orders come out. So now I want to show you something really cool. This is a 15-minute chart, right? But we're going to go to a 3-minute chart. I think it was a 3-minute. No, sorry, it was a 1-minute. I want to show you how the day started today. There's a trade here, but I'm not going to go over this short right now. I want to show you something else. Okay, so let's go back to the open of today. Hold on. Let me turn this off. Hold on a second. Let's go back to. We're going to go back to the open. This is the open of the Nasdaq today. Now I know many of you guys may not trade the Nasdaq, right? The CFD or whatever, but this thing moves, and this is what I look at when I work with the futures. Okay. Now, let me show you what took place here today. All right, at the market open. So is this the 1 minute? Yeah. So hold on. Where is that? Oh, I have to put counter trend on. Check this out. So I have to turn these settings on, right? Now, so let me go back again so you can see this was the market open. Now, the market open is not exactly the easiest time to trade. Okay, now look at this. This is a 1 minute time frame. Now, the trade, if you notice, there's a orange candle up here. That's a warning. All right, this is counter trend mode. I'll explain that in a moment. But this is a warning, okay, that a signal is likely to come soon. So the signal comes, actually, what is this? This was another trade. I think this is an old trade. It's the reason why it's on there is because the trailing stop is on. Let me turn the trailing stop off, right? So that trade goes away. You know, Steve, it would be cool if we can hide those old trades when it's through the stop like that. That gets confusing. That was a stopped out trade basically. Now look, so this is, I put counter trend on, right? So we get this because the trend is bullish. So I had counter trend on because I was expecting, a counter trend movement, but I don't know how far they're going to go. So here's the signal, right? Watch, it shows up on this candle, I think here. You got a couple of orange candles, okay? Now, where's the signal? Oh, because I turned the trailing stop off. See, there's a signal. I want to show this signal. There was a signal up here. All right, maybe it's on the 30-second. And I couldn't believe the signal. Maybe it was over here. Let me see. That might be it. I got to show you this. Is this it? That's not it either. There was a 1 minute signal on here. And basically it called the trade from up here. Okay, this is not it on the 1 minute. The trade was called when I was looking at this in real time. The trade was actually called up here. Okay, and this thing got hammered. Okay, and as you can see here, it goes. Look at this. Oh, maybe this was the trade. Yeah, look at this. This is how the market was at the open on a 1 minute chart. Now, if I continue this, look at the trailing stop. Okay, look at this. Look at this. See, trailing stop work there, Stian. Look at this. So you realize if you had taken the trade on this candle, okay, which was this price right here, the bottom of the candle, right there, okay? So first you had the heads up. You had the warning that a signal was coming. The signal shows up here, okay, and this thing just gets hammered. So how many points is this? 17,796, okay, and right now it went right through the take profit, which is 1.5 to 1 reward risk, which means you lock something in, and now you have this runner, okay? At this point, it's at 746. So this is about 50 points right here, okay, of profit if you respect these levels, right? If you respect the orders. Now, I think this gets, look at this. Now the trailing stop continues, okay, and eventually it gets tapped. But at this point, okay, I think it gets tapped on the next candle. At this point, you had the opportunity to possibly get out here, around here somewhere. You're not going to get the exact bottom, but you had some extra points in that, okay? If you decide to just wait for the trailing stop and just wait, you get tapped out here. What is that? 17,737. Let me see what the next one is. Okay, tapped out, okay? So let's just say 17,740. Let's just say that was the tap out price. That's where you got out. So that trade was worth what, like 60 points that you would have gotten on top of the take profit if you had two contracts? Like, that's what the Trade Scanner Pro does for you. Okay, that was just an amazing example. That was actually real, that took place when I was involved today. So let's turn counter trend off. So now that may have gotten your attention. We'll close the trade on stop loss. It is not trailing yet. Okay. Oh, okay. So it has to reach the stop loss. Okay. So let's move on to something like Ethereum, because I'm sure people are more interested in Ethereum. All right. I usually do Bitcoin, but let's do Ethereum today. All right. So let's find Ethereum on my thing over here. Hey, this one. All right. So we're going to do Ethereum. What is that? Okay. So is this Ethereum? It's on Coinbase. All right. So you know what I'm going to do? I want the perpetual futures contract, right? So I'm going to do Ethereum perp, right? So I got the perpetual futures contract. So you can find these like on things like, Binance, MEXC, all the exchanges that we know about. Okay, let me do that again. Hold on a second. So we're going to go to Ethereum perp. Okay. I usually do Bitcoin, but let's do something else today. And we're going to go to MEXC. We'll use MEXC just because, that's one of Steven's affiliate links. And now, so I'm on the 1 minute over here. Okay. Now let me show you a cool new feature. Now, by the way, hold on. Before I continue, if you're wondering, like, how does this thing even work? What is it doing? Let me just explain to you real quick what the Trade Scanner does. So the Trade Scanner is a trend following momentum reversal system. It is based on my system, okay, which the Trade Scanner Classic, which is a bot that Steven helped me build, sends out emails, right? It sends out emails with signals. Well, we converted the bot into a PineScript code that you can use on any chart, any time frame. So again, what does this do? So the first step is it looks for a trend, okay? So the trend is going to be bullish or bearish. The second step is it looks for a pullback in that trend. This is what it looks for, pullback, all right, in case of a bullish trend. Now, once the pullback, it measures the pullback. And then once the pullback starts to get exhausted, it then looks for momentum changes, okay, on the bottom of the pullback. It looks for changes in momentum. Once those momentum changes are confirmed in this area, it will give a signal when it does something like this. So it doesn't give the signal here at the best point. It waits for confirmation, which is usually around here, okay? So, and it's anticipating that momentum will continue. And we don't know how far the momentum will go, but that's the whole point of the trailing stop, right? So you're looking for that runner. That's really like the key to using something like this. Now, that's basically how the system works. Now, there are some extra features on top of that, like, for example, counter trend mode, which will call the trade here instead of it, because what the counter trend mode will do is it will ignore the trend. It will ignore the trend. And then what it will do is it will say, okay, there's a sell signal right here in a bullish trend, and it will share that. Okay, so the same thing, it looks for the changes in momentum, and then it'll call the trade like right here, right? Short in a bullish trend. Those are higher risk trades, but when you catch one and they work, it's pretty amazing, right? And usually you can use levels, you can use other forms of analysis to help you find those potential spots where something like that can develop. And when this confirms it, you have yourself a nice little trade. Okay, so that's trend and counter trend. Now, there's something called the heads up, all right, which basically draws orange candles, right? Heads up draws orange candles on the chart. That's a warning that a signal is likely to come over the next few candles. All right, it's very helpful. Let me tell you. Now, if you notice here, right, we have also the reward ratio. That's that 1.5 I was showing you earlier. The reward ratio is your risk reward ratio. It's set automatically at 1.5 to 1, but you can change this. Maybe if you're expecting a bigger trade, you could change it to 2 to 1. If you want to trade a smaller reward risk, Maybe you're looking for a small bite. You can change it to 1-to-1. You can change it to whatever you want. We're going to leave it here at 1.5-to-1. Now, a new feature that Stian just updated, okay, yesterday, we just pushed this, is this little thing over here, okay? Show previous trade ideas. You see that? So when I leave that on the chart, you'll notice I got these red little arrows on the chart. See that? Look. So these were previous trades on this time frame. So look at this. You could see some fake out moves over here. Look, they were attempted to go long here. These obviously were not profitable. You see those? So it's nice to have on the chart because it kind of gives you an idea of what took place recently. Okay. So is my heads up on? Let me see. No, it is. Yes, it is. Okay. So you guys follow me so far? So that's the new feature. Plus he made some corrections. The trailing stop now works properly. And also we don't have that reprint situation. It basically keeps a trade open until you won't see a new signal until the trade is closed, right? So those are some updates that he made. I put that in the release notes. All right, now let's see if we could find some trades. So the way this works, again, the way you want to use this, especially as a beginner, is you don't really want to sit in front of the computer screen and wait. Although you can, okay? And that's what I usually, like I'm going to show you here. But you can also do this, okay? You can set this up right here, right? You pick the Trade Scanner Pro, and then you basically tell TradingView how you want to be notified. Okay, so it'll tell you when a signal appears. You could set it up for a pop-up. This could be on your phone. This could be on your tablet. And this is the best way to use this, especially when you're dealing with like a 5-minute chart or a 15-minute chart, because signals may take a while to develop. And you don't want to sit in front of your computer for an hour, especially if you're working or you're doing something else, right? So that's the best way to use this. Now, we're going to look for some signals here. And let's see what we can find. Now, I'm going to go to a 30-second because usually it's more frequent. And let's see what we can have. I don't recommend this for beginners because you have to be very nimble and you have to understand what's going on with these smaller time frames. Plus, you can't do a 30-second if you're not paying for TradingView. You could use this on the free platform, the TradingView free version, but there are some limitations. One of those limitations is you can't go below 1-minute charts. Okay. So right now I'm in trend mode and the trend here is bearish. Okay. So I'm looking for a sell signal, but I don't have one right now. I don't even see any warnings, nothing. There's nothing here. And we haven't had a signal on this thing since over here. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. At least not on the trend side anyway. The trend obviously must have changed over here. It must have changed, right? Because again, the trend is relevant to whatever time frame you're watching. Realize that you may have like a bullish trend on the 30-second, but on a 2-minute chart, the trend may be bearish, right? So keep that in mind. You have to work with one time frame, especially in the beginning. Work with one time frame, work with one market, okay? Whatever your market is. If this thing doesn't give me a signal soon, I'll just switch back over to Bitcoin because Bitcoin usually gives us something to work with. All right, and then I'll take the trade on my paper trade account over here. All right, so let me open that up. So let's see what we have. Now, if you notice, the trend just changed back to bullish. Okay, it was just bearish a minute ago. So that means this thing is working its way higher. But in this situation, because I anticipate that we may have some trouble up here, I'm going into counter trend mode. So that's where you have to be nimble and you have to know this stuff. Okay, now counter trend gave more signals. Obviously, look at this. So I may get a counter trend signal here. So what I'd like to see, oh, nice pop. What I'd like to see is the orange candle, right? See these orange candles? If I get an orange candle here, especially up in this area, I may start early, right? And that's a very aggressive thing to do with the orange candles. But man, when that thing works, you have a good price. So let's take a look at a bigger picture here. Let's go to a 30-minute just to kind of get a sense of our levels. And obviously there's a trade on the 30-minute. And oh, that's a long. Look, the 30-minute actually has a long, and it's still around the entry level. I'm not going to take this on the 30-minute because we'll be here forever waiting for this thing. But there's obviously a long trade. Look at this. There's a long trade on the 30-minute chart. This is your risk, okay? Look, this is your risk on the 30-minute. Your risk has been cut in half so far by the trailing stop, and this is your take profit. It takes all the guesswork out. Like, Stian, I don't understand how people just don't see, just sign up for this instantly. Like, this takes so much burden off of you. When you have all of this laid out for you, all you have to do is watch and be like, oh, it's going my way. Oh, it's not going my way. Let me get out. Okay, because this thing does all the work for you. All right, it's looking for that trend continuation trade, so you don't have to get all confused. And if you want to use it with some other technique, like, oh, okay, I like to use my, something else to find support and resistance. Okay, you could use this in conjunction with that. All right, but anyway, I changed to the 30-minute because I want to see some bigger picture levels here. What's going on? Am I near a support? Am I near a resistance? Is the trend changing? Like, what's going on here? This looks like it's coming off of a supportive area. Okay, I mean, it's going to be very similar to Bitcoin. But on the small time frames, there is some minor resistance here. There is something here. In fact, that blip that we saw on the Ethereum chart was this little movement over here. So it may be worth counter trend. Now, of course, there's a bullish trend in play at the same time. So keep that in mind, right? The bigger picture is saying bullish. So if I'm looking for counter trend on 30 seconds, my expectations should be low. So I'm not likely to get a big runner on this time frame. Okay, so right off the bat, I know my probability is going to be less if I take this counter trend trade because of that bigger picture situation. Okay, I mean, I should be going long on the 30-minute, but I'm trying to work on the 30-second chart. Do you see the contrast between the two? That's an advanced concept. It may be confusing, so that's why I suggest, like in this case, if you're a beginner, then you would work on the 30-minute chart, not the 30-second chart. I'm just showing you this for demonstration purposes, okay? Look at this candle. So I'm going to take one short, okay? I'm short one on the warning. Now, this candle may not close orange. If it goes further, it may not close orange, but the warning was there. So I'm going to take that. I'm in one early. We should see a signal soon. I'm still in counter trend mode. Right, it says counter trend. In case you forget, it says counter trend mode active right there. Okay, so I'm in counter trend mode, which means, and I saw that little orange candle, a signal is likely to appear soon over the next few minutes, and I'm short one early. Now, if I'm wrong on this one, again, I'm being extremely aggressive here. If I'm wrong, I could just blow it out. I'll lose a little bit of money on one contract. Okay. But now the advantage to doing something like this, and I may just blow it out right here because look, I don't like the way that looks, but I'll give it a little bit of a chance. How much am I losing? Okay, I'm up. I'm losing like $2. Okay, I can handle it. So the advantage to doing something like that, see, we got another warning, is I'm in one early, and if I'm wrong on that one, I blow it out. I take a small loss. But if I'm right and the signal appears, now I can add one. And if it's a winning trade, I win more than what I would lose because I'm only going to lose on one contract. I'm not going to add now. I'm going to wait until the signal appears. Now, it's possible that I take the signal and I lose on the two as well. But the thing is, there's going to be a time when I catch one early and then I catch that second one and then it works out. So now I'm making a lot more than what I would have been losing because with the early contract. Does that make sense? That may be confusing for a beginner. But that is the whole key to how you increase your chances of profitability. You have to win more when you win than when you lose. Okay. So I'm in on the early one and it's not working. Right. So how much am I losing now? Okay. I'm done. I'm minus $2.50. Okay. I can handle that. This is Ethereum. It's not Bitcoin. Right. Bitcoin is much bigger. Like usually with Bitcoin, I'd be minus like $100 by now or something. But this isn't working, right? Okay, so I don't like this chart action. All right, I'm just going to blow it out and take the loss because this is not what should happen after a warning. Okay, it's just going higher. All right, no problem. So I took a small loss. No big deal. I may still get the warning again and I may get the signal again. But you see like how I handled that, right? I'm not going to add now because this thing may continue. Now, obviously the 30-minute was correct here. Remember we looked at that 30-minute? Look, here's a 15-minute. Look at the 15-minute. They're all long. Let's take a look at the 5-minute. There's one on the 5-minute. All right, I'm going to, so now look at this. I could have been long on the 5-minute and my stop has moved to break even. Look at this. So this is really a risk-free trade. Here's the other thing. The long was called here. Look how much time it has spent retesting the entry price. There was a lot of time to get into this thing. Look at that. So you know what? Any little pullback that we get here, I'll take one. I'll take one long. In fact, I may just take one. Actually, no, you know what? I'm not going to take one long now because look, if I get long right now, right, I'm reacting. That means I'd be reacting to this. And look what's going on here. Look at all this minor resistance. This is minor resistance, okay? I'm not going to get long here. What I'll do is I'll buy it if we get like a little pullback into the entry price. I'll add one. I'll buy. I'll start going long, and I'll try working with the 5 minute. Let's see what the 3 minute looks like. Look, there was a trade on the 3 minute as well. Look at this. So sometimes, I mean, this same trade is occurring. It occurred on the 30 minute. It occurred on the 15 minute. It occurred on the 5 minute. But you say, well, isn't that exactly the same trade? It's the same idea, but the risk is not the same. The smaller the time frame I go, the risk gets smaller. Okay, does that make sense? So that it's a good example of how much risk you want to take. Like if you're taking risk on a 30-minute chart, the take profit, of course, is going to be much greater, but your risk is going to be bigger on the 30-minute. Now I'm still in counter trend mode, so I may get that yellow candle or that orange candle may close there, and I may take that just for the minor pullback. If maybe we get a minor pullback back into this level here, we'll see. All right, see, orange went away. Okay, no problem. Not doing anything. Not touching this thing. I mean, if I was super aggressive too, I could have been long, and I'd be going like, all right, let's see if it goes to the take profit. But I'm not going to do that. Right? That's a bad habit. You shouldn't get in that habit. The trailing stop is starting to work its way. All right. Now, notice here's another key aspect to the TradeScanner Pro is as this trailing stop continues higher, it's reducing your risk constantly. So what happens is over time, your reward risk skews in your favor because when you lose, like right now, the next candle can do something like this, right? It can do it out of nowhere. And it can go right to the take profit. And the take profit at that time may be a little higher, right? Let's say the take profit is there at the time. My risk has been reduced in half at that point. So yeah, I'm taking a loss, okay, but I'm not taking the full risk, which was this. I'm taking half. Meanwhile, I'm not getting out of winners early. I mean, I can, but if you catch a runner, right, instead of catching 1.5 to 1, you may catch 5 to 1. So 5 to 1, meanwhile, you're cutting your losing trades. That's what puts you ahead over time. Okay? That's really like the key to this. And this may turn into a runner, and I'll feel bad that I haven't taken it. But what am I going to do? You're better off not having the bad habits. I mean, I'd like to show you for demonstration purposes, but maybe we'll get some other kind of opportunity here. Let's see what a 2 minute looks like. Okay, the 2 minute probably. No, there's nothing on the 2 minute. Okay, let's go back to our 1 minute. Anything here? Okay, so now, Stian, here's that situation, right? Now look at this. So Stian, right? It went, there was a short called over here. It went through the stop loss. So why is this trade still on the chart? Now, if I take the trailing stop off, probably because the trailing stop is on the other side, right? So if I take the trailing stop off, this goes away. But how can we make it so that when the trailing stop is on, this trade should not be here? Like, you see that? Like this trade should not be here when I have the trailing stop on. I mean, I guess I could take the trailing stop off and then wait for the next trade and then turn it back on. Now, as you can see, we have all these orange candles here, right? All these orange candles. A lot of warning. I'm in counter trend mode still, okay? I'm going to try that short again because of all those orange candles. Let's see what happens. Okay. Okay, cool. So I think because that kind of gets in my way too when I'm dealing with like the NASDAQ and stuff. Like I want those trades off the chart and I have to like turn the trailing stop up. So, okay, cool. This is where updates come from. Cool. He's been so cool with that. Okay. Tino, ¿cómo estás? ¿Qué estás haciendo? Okay, cool. So I shorted one. Okay. Let's see if we get the signal while we're waiting here. And keep in mind, we looked at all those bullish trades, right? So I'm taking a very big risk going against it, but let's see what happens. It's on paper, and this is a small position, right? This is Ethereum. It's not Bitcoin. So, I'm not even minus $1. Like, you could take a lot of pain on this, right? Now I could put on if I get the signal, I'll put on a bunch. Like I'll put on a more significant position. In fact, I'll put on a second one now. Because again, these are small. Okay, these are like micro contracts. Oh, okay, nice. This is not working, is it? I'm not getting my signal. But again, I'm showing you this is what happens when you're ultra aggressive and the market doesn't want to cooperate. Okay. I should be working on the long side, but it's going to be a while before we get a long signal on this time frame. Let's see what happens over the next few candles. Let's go back to our 3-minute, see what's going on here. I'm starting to get the warning on the 3-minute. We're almost at the take profit. Okay. Now, this warning is a counter trend warning. Está jugando contigo. Oh, you're playing with me. Okay. I'm doing really aggressive stuff here. Don't use real money. Look, we went to the take profit. Okay. That was the 3-minute. Now I'm short because I'm trying to short this thing on these warning candles, and it's just not working. Okay. I really should have been working on the long side because that's the side of the trend. So it goes to show you, right, the low probability of this. Now, again, I'm minus $10. So that's not a big deal. I'm not minus hundreds of dollars here. Oh, okay. Está jugando. Yeah. Playing the system with you. Okay. My Spanish isn't that good. I'm sorry. I understand sort of what you're saying. Okay. Now, I'm trying to see if we can get a counter trend signal here. Or I'll wait for a trend signal if we get one. Here's the 5-minute. Okay. A trend signal is going to take some time because we got to pull back, right? Remember how the trade scanner works? It looks for a trend and then it looks for the pullback. So a long is going to take a while. That's why I'm working on the short side. All right. So this is back to the 1-minute. We got these warnings and I got another pin bar, right? Look at the pin bar. Another warning. So I'll short another one. Now keep in mind, I'm shorting these early. I should be waiting for the signal, but I like to have some size on before the signal so that if it signals, now I feel like it's more confirmed. But I realize that I could be wrong and this thing can just keep going on me, which I have to blow out of. Okay. So let's see how this goes. This is back to the 1-minute. Let's see how it goes. So again, for people that are watching that are new, you could see these are like old trades now. We have historical trades on the charts now, which is a new feature. There is the signal. Okay, this is the counter trend signal. Oh, so the candle needs to close. It'll come back. But that was it. So when it pops back on, I'll short another one. That'll be 5 contracts. Now, these are small contracts. Okay, I'm still minus $1. If this was Bitcoin, I'd probably be like, minus $100 right now. Oh, wait a minute. Steven, hold on. Oh, I got to put the trailing stop back on. No? Okay. Where'd my signal go? Turn that off. We had the signal. Let me go to the 30-second. Maybe it's there. Or maybe that candle needs to close. Okay, here it is. This is basically the same signal. It's just on a smaller time frame. Okay? So here's what I'm going to do with this. Since chances are it's not going to go in a straight line because this thing is generally strong, I'm going to wait for a retest of this level here before I add one. Now, I'm not missing anything. I have 4 contracts on. Doesn't want to retest? Okay. Maybe it'll retest now that I put a 5th one on. All right, so now let me turn the trailing stop on. And we'll see the trailing stop begin to follow this thing. Now, again, notice, right? So we had some warnings back here, right? Followed by a signal which went nowhere. And we had another warning here. And you see how I was putting on contracts going into that? So now I'm short a whole bunch, and then I get the signal here. Okay, so that gives me a better price. Now, this is a technique. This is a very advanced technique, because if you're wrong, there's no reference for you to get out. You just have to blow it out, and you're going to take a loss. But if you're small, it's not a big deal. But when you're right, now I have a bunch of contracts on. Okay, so let's see how many I'm up. I'm up $2. Okay, to make this significant, I probably have to do 10 at a time to really make this significant. But all right, let's see, just for demonstration purposes, let's see how this trade plays out. Here's a trailing stop beginning. Okay, it's just starting out here. So my risk is still pretty much the same. It hasn't changed much yet. Now, keep in mind, this is counter trend. I'm going against that other momentum. So this may not really go my way very far. Okay, so if I manage to get the take profit, I should probably unload most of it there. And it would be unreasonable for me to expect a runner, because I'm going against that momentum. Now, it doesn't mean the runner won't happen, but I should be less expectant of it. Does that make sense? All right. So, and again, this is a 30-second chart. Things change a lot on this chart very quickly. Now, just so you know, like what my plan is, if this thing decides to go back up to this blue line, I may add another contract, because again, these are small contracts. All right. And I see that as an opportunity. If we retest the entry price, I see that as an opportunity to add. But I would like to see, upon the retest of the entry price, I would like to see a candle go my way. So if we pop up like it's doing now, right? We pop up here like this, and then I get a red candle right here, that's when I'll add, not the green candle going into it. Okay. See like how we're going into it now? This new candle is probably going to touch it. It's probably going to pop up into here like that. Okay. See, there we go. Now I'm not going to add yet, because this thing may move in a straight line, and it may go straight to the take profit. Straight to the trailing stop, in which case I will take a smaller loss, right? I'm going to take a loss on that, of course. But as you can see, my risk has been reduced. How cool is that? Like, if you don't see the value of that, man, I don't know what to tell you, because a tool like this, when I was a beginner, this would have been so much better for me to have all of this defined for me. Okay. So my risk is basically cut in half right now. So even if I'm wrong on this trade, I'm losing less. Now, if I get a red candle close, I'm going to add. Again, this is aggressive what I'm doing. It's advanced. We just moved here. Cool. All right. So my risk is reducing okay, this isn't good. It's a good thing I'm not putting on another one yet. I want to see like a strong red candle. I want to see something like this coming off the entry price, but it has to be red. If I see that, I'll feel more comfortable putting on another contract. Otherwise, I don't. Make sense? Any questions, you guys? Any questions? While we wait for this thing, let's see how this candle closes. We got 30 seconds. Any questions? So again, if you want to sign up for the free trial, right? The link is in the link. You can see the link on my screen right there, that bit.ly link. The link is also in the description. All right, if we get this red close here, I'm going to short more. Let's see how we're doing. There we go. That's nice. Okay. All right. I'm going to short more just on that, because it's probably going to close that way. All right. So now I have 5 contracts on. All right. I'm going to short another one. I want to have 6 contracts. Okay. Now I have 6 contracts on. All right. Again, these are small, and my risk on that most recent one, this is my risk on the most recent contract. So am I really losing a lot of money? If I'm wrong, no. But if I'm right, I'll do okay with this move here. So it's not about being right every time. See, look, this is not working. So I'll blow them all out. I'll blow them all out if I have to. No problem. Right? That's going through the trailing stop. The whole thing will vanish once it goes through the trailing stop, and I'll blow them all out. I'll buy them all back. I'm not going to wait around. I know I'm working against the trend here. I know this thing's going to be problematic. And that's the whole point. You respect the levels, right? Respect the orders. Okay, goodbye. That's it. Let's see what that cost me. Okay, I lost $15. All right. Not much to worry about there. Now, but you saw how I managed it. Okay, so I was wrong, and this thing wants to continue higher. Now, I don't like Ethereum, to be honest with you. I like Bitcoin better because the action is so much better and the money is bigger. So let's go back to Bitcoin, shall we? Unless you guys want me to stay on Ethereum, but Ethereum's boring. I mean, the nice moves, but it's just, I want to see some bigger size. So let's go back to Bitcoin. Unless if you guys want me to stay on Ethereum, let me know. All right, so here, oh, hold on. You know what? Bitcoin perp. I like to use the MEXC chart. Okay, so here's Bitcoin on the 30-second. Now it's going to be similar to Ethereum. Okay, it's going to be similar. Now let's go to the 1 minute. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, but now these contracts are going to be much bigger. Look at this move. I mean, called it long over here. Man, that must have been nice. So we have some warning here. We're going to try this again. I'm going to short one now on Bitcoin on the warning. Let's go back to the 30 seconds so that when the trade shows up, I'll get it a little earlier. Got my trailing stop on. I'm going to turn it off for now. And then when the signal pops up, I'm going to turn the trailing stop on. I'm only short one. See, the P&L is much bigger here because these are bigger contracts. It's a much bigger instrument. Okay. I mean, it's the same deal as Ethereum. I could have just put on 10 times the size on the Ethereum and I would have had the same numbers, right? I could have done that. Right. Instead of 2 or 3 at a time, I could have done 10 at a time. Again, this is why I'm going to talk about position sizing in my student meeting. Let's take a look at the larger time frames here. So here's the 5 minute. Man, look at this move. And it was long at the bottom of it. Huh. That was nice. Is this trade still on? Let's see. No, I guess it must have went to the take profit or something, or the trailing stop, because it's not. This is an old trade now. Okay, but it called it long right there. Nice job. All right, so let's look around. 2 minute. 2 minute. There was a short right there, which got stopped out. Obviously. Let's go to the 1 minute. Now again, I'm in counter trend mode still. Okay, and I just opened an aggressive short based on the warning candle. But I'm only going to keep one on. I'm not going to put on a bunch. I'm going to start with one to see if we get the signal soon. We may get like the failed high. Also, let's go back to the bigger picture. Let's just take a look at the bigger picture levels on this thing, just see where we are. All right, so we are in a resistant area. So a pullback here is possible. So, counter trend is worth looking at, at this location. Now, keep in mind, there may be a bullish move here and this thing may just keep going. That can happen. But there is a level up here where we may see some kind of pullback, right? And that pullback may take us like back to this area here or something. So it's worth a day trade. All right, cool. Any questions so far? Have a look at the replay. Oh, with the replay. Okay, yeah, we can do that. I may have to get out of this though. I don't like this. See, I'm minus $100. That's more like it. Let's buy it back again. All right, so I got out of that because I'm not getting my signal. Wait a minute. Let's see what this does. We could take a look at this long on the replay here while we're waiting for this thing to do something. So I'm going to go to the replay. Okay, and okay, let me turn it back on. So now there's a signal there, right? So let's see what this looks like on the 1 minute. Let's play it back. So that was the signal. Okay. My trailing stop is on. So let's see how this thing played out. Look at this. There's the trailing stop. See that, Steen? It went to the take profit and my trailing stop was on. So that trailing stop was never touched. this thing should have continued a little bit at least. Yeah, that trailing stop was never touched. That thing should be following it. Now, what is this? Is this my new signal? Let me turn this thing off. Oh, no. That wasn't the new signal. That's these old signals over here. Okay. You saw that, Stian? Maybe that's just on the replay that it does that? Because I had the replay earlier with the NASDAQ and it followed. Okay, so I'm getting another yellow. Let's try this again. Aggressive short. Not something I would recommend, but we got the warning, so let me give it a try. We looked at the level, right? So short is a possibility. I'm minus $99. Let's see if I can make it back. Okay. I mean, we saw the NASDAQ example that I showed earlier worked fine. And that was a replay also. All right, cool. Any questions, people? I got like almost 120 people watching me. You mean to tell me Steen is the only guy in the chat? Any questions? Do you like it? Do you not like? Do you not see the value? Like maybe you could say, I don't get it. Tell me. Maybe I'm not showing this correctly. Again, people would probably be excited if you could see me make a big profit, but the market's just not cooperating and I'm fighting the market. Not exactly the way to do it, when you fight the market like this. But I want to show you an example. If I wait for a long, it'll take forever. Okay, so we got some warnings. I'm short one. I mean, I'm basically break even on that one. So am I really taking a lot of risk here? Not yet. It's not going nuts against me, right? So I can afford to sit around in this thing and wait for a signal. Now, if I get a signal, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to short 2. So I'll have 3 altogether. Let's see if I get the signal. Okay. So I'm counter trend, it says it right there. Trend is bullish, and I'm fighting the trend. To get a bullish trend, to get a long signal, this thing needs to pull back, and it's not pulling back far enough. There's my signal. All right, I just shorted 2. Okay, so I was prepared because I had the orange candles. They warned me that a signal was coming. So I got the signal. I shorted 2. Let's see what this thing can do. My trailing stop is on. Now, again, I'm not expecting this thing to pull back significantly, like majorly. I doubt we'll pull all the way back to here, all the way back to this low. But if we could take profit, I'd be curious to see how much lower it can go. Right, so let's see what we do here. Now we're back to the entry price. All right, since I put on 2 there, I'm not going to put on more. Just wait this thing out. Do you use MEXC? No, I don't I can't use MEXC. I'm in the US. So MEXC, the reason why I'm showing it is because it's one of Stian's affiliate links and non-US people have access to it. I don't know if they have a great reputation. I don't know what their story is. I have to use Coinbase. Okay, or I have to use, basically, or I trade the futures contracts like on the CME. Because in the US, we're very limited. We're very restricted. We can't open accounts anywhere in the world. They don't want the money leaving this country. The great politicians we have here. So, it's, the exchange. They don't want, the CME doesn't want competition. And they have the politicians in the pocket. You know how that goes. So, let's see how this goes. Are you interested in using MEXC? Like, I'm just curious. Why do you ask? I'm just using it, again, for example purposes. All these exchanges like MEXC and Bybit and BitGet and all these other ones, they're all pretty much the same in a lot of ways. And there's always the possibility that one can pull an FTX. That's always a possibility when you're dealing with that. So, I cannot use MEXC. Oh, you're in Florida, right? Because you're US, right? The only way you can do it is with a VPN. You'd have to jump through hoops with a VPN, which is a big pain, honestly. So your choices would be like, Coinbase, or you could do futures. Like there are micro Bitcoin futures on the CME. So you can actually trade that way as well. You'd have to have a futures account with AMP Futures. There's a number of futures brokers, Interactive Brokers. is a big one. So you'd have to check those out if you're interested. Isaac, script will be updated automatically or need to do something. Okay, you know what, Isaac? I found when I update the script, I actually have to remove them from my chart and then put it back on the chart. Then I got the update. For some reason, I thought it would update automatically. So yeah, just remove it and then put it back on, and then you should see the update. I don't know why it's like that. I thought by pushing the update, it would just automatically push everyone's update, but that's not the case. So I guess, I don't know, since it doesn't send you a notification or anything, I don't know where to put that information, but that's really, I guess, how you get the update. You remove it and you put it back on. Okay. Like, yeah, Steen, it should update automatically, I would think. But like on my charts, it doesn't update. I got to remove the old one, and then I got to put it back on. Okay, good question, guys. Any other questions as we watch this thing fluctuate my way a little bit? I mean, we're at the close of the market. One thing you guys have to realize is this is a really bad time of day to trade. The U.S. market's closed. I'm surprised we even got this little Bitcoin move that we got. I'm just showing this because this is when I stream. But a better time to be doing this, obviously, is the market open, 9:30. Sometime, going into 10 o'clock. In the afternoon, a good time is 2 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock. But 4 o'clock is usually not a great time. Just to let you know, you're not going to get the best quality at these times. You need momentum for this to work. All right? But, okay, so far, so good. I got $150 on my practice account. I'm going to be going drinking tonight. It's Omer time. I'm joking. I'll go there with my paper money. You think they'll accept my paper money? All right. If you boost the script and you get an email. Oh, good to know, Steen. Look what Steen just wrote. So guys, see that? If you go to my script on TradingView and you press the boost button, you'll get notifications. I guess it's like you're following the notifications, and then you'll know when we do updates, so you can refresh it on your charts. That's good to know. I had no idea. Thanks, Stian. So guys, make sure you boost. If you're a TradeScanner Pro user, go to my TradingView profile and make sure you press the little boost button on the chart so you can get the notifications, because we update this thing. I mean, Stian sends me an update. This is like our second update that we've done since we've released this thing. Okay, so we have other updates. Like he makes changes, he makes a correction, he adds a feature, and then we have an update. Okay, so guys, again, if you're wondering how to sign up for this, there's links in the description. Check out the link. If you go to the link, which I also had shown, I was showing it on my screen before. I'll put it back up here. Okay, go to this link. It'll take you to this page, and you can sign up for the TradeScanner Pro over here. Okay, 14 days for free. You can play with it. All right, I've been streaming more regularly to demonstrate how it works. This is an opportunity to ask me questions about more advanced uses like I'm showing you here. What I'm doing here is more advanced. I'm not just blindly following the orders and waiting. I'm being proactive. I'm putting on more contracts. I'm getting in early. I'm doing more advanced things. Okay, as a beginner, don't expect to be able to do that as easily. I have a lot of experience, and plus this is on paper. Okay, if I was working with real money, which I was earlier, I do sort of trade like this, just a little more conservatively. Okay, like I have no problem taking early entries, and if they go wrong, I just blow them out and I take a small loss. Okay, this was working, but it's now turned against me a bit. This may give me an opportunity to add. Let's see. Now, the trailing stop has reduced my risk. Nice. So you see, I mean, think about this. Think about this trade after trade. Think about this over 100 trades or over 1,000 trades. Your risk keeps getting reduced, okay? So instead of taking 100 trades, right, where you lose the entire amount, you're taking 100 trades where your risk is now variable, right? It gets smaller over time. So I may take a couple of these in a row. All right, no big deal. If I just catch one winner, I'm back to break even, or maybe even ahead. because the way I add. Okay. So it's really like about the money management aspect of this more than it is the technical aspect as far as trying to forecast the future. Everyone thinks this game is about forecasting the future. And if you believe that, it's because we all start out that way. You consume a lot of garbage. 99% of the garbage you consume on the internet is garbage. All right. And they mislead you. And then your logic plays a role. And you think, that makes sense. And then you start to believe stuff that basically sucks you into the herd mentality. You add some emotion to that, and you're a herd mentality member. And herd mentality, you win randomly. That's when you win. It's like a slot machine. Okay. People don't like to equate it to a slot machine, but that's what it's like. Now, when you go to a casino, I'm going to add here, hold on. When you go to a casino and you go to the slot machines, do you expect to replace your job salary at the slot machines? No, of course you don't. You go there for entertainment. Oh, maybe I'll win some money, right? But here, for some reason, you think you're going to replace your job with $1,000 account. You're doing the same thing. It's a slot machine. You have to think of it that way. Okay. Now, the thing is, though, a slot machine doesn't trend. Markets do. So we do have a little bit more of an advantage in the markets compared to a slot machine because the markets are not 100% random, right? That's where the signals come into play. But it's the money management that gets you ahead. Just like poker, for those of you that play poker. All right. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Maybe if I missed anything in the chat here. Couldn't find an action button within it. I had that email. Well, I don't think there's going to be an action button in the email. The fact that you got the email means we made a change. And then I think what you have to do is remove the script. And what worked for me, I mean, what Stian says is correct. It should auto update. I don't know why it does not. For me, I had to go here. I had to press this little X, remove it from the chart. And then I had to put it back on the chart. And then I had the update. Okay. So maybe some people have to do that. I don't know why. By the way, TradingView sent me a message that they sent. They gave me an upgrade. I'm on the pro version of TradingView now. I don't know what that means exactly. But anyway, that's cool. So trailing stop. Look, nice. Not bad, right? All I'm doing is waiting and talking to you guys, and the market's just working for me. So for those of you that are just watching this, my question to you is, how come you haven't signed up yet? I'm not trying to be like one of these hard sales guys, like, oh, you have to do this now before you run out and blah, blah, blah. But there's a lot of value here. And it makes me wonder, are people actually watching this? Because I haven't seen any tools that do this. All right. I'm up 200 now on paper. Let's see what kind of candles we get. Now, what I'd like to see, because again, notice I'm not doing any analysis here, right? The burden of analysis has been removed. I don't have to guess anything. I don't have to wonder where to get out. All I'm doing is waiting. Either we go here, which would be nice, or we go back up here, which would not be so nice. But those are my two action points if I don't want to do anything else. Okay. Now, as the trailing stop continues my way, do you know how many times I would get questions? How do we trail the stop? How do we trail the stop? Now you don't have to ask me that question anymore because now the script does it for you. And Stian talked about how at some point soon, we will be able to take these orders and you'll be able to actually send them to your broker. If TradingView connects to your broker, right? There's a whole bunch of brokers they connect to. We will be able to send the orders from here, from TradingView, to your broker. So these orders will be automatic on your platform. How cool would that be? So you won't even have to do anything. You wouldn't have to press any buttons anymore. You just tell it what size, and I guess the size and the leverage. Okay, and then this thing will do all the work for you. We're not there yet, but Stian someone asked him about it, and that's what he was talking about in the community chat, which would be really cool. That's a project on our list. Okay, so not bad. Anyone have any questions? Guys, are you signing up for this thing or what? Pro is more expensive. You should check. You have expert, elite, and ultimate. Oh, Okay. Yeah, I was going to check to see like because I don't even know like what features I have that are extra on here. They sent me an email saying, "Oh, we sent you an upgrade." Great. Okay, so look at this, guys. Come on. Are you signing up yet? The link is on the channel, right on my screen here. You can't miss that link. Go to that link, right? It takes you here, takes you to the Market Signals Pro page. Register right here. Register right here. These are introductory prices. Lock these in because when I raise them, you're not going to get these prices. Okay, this thing is very inexpensive for what this thing does. I asked about copying signals. Oh, okay. Well, that's going to take some time. Unboxing. That's going to take a little time because I mean, he's got to build that. So it's not like we're going to have that tomorrow. But okay, no problem. Okay, so I mean, look, so far this thing's working. What time is it? It's 4:30. I mean, I'm surprised this thing just continues my way. Now, let me ask you guys a question. How many of you would have been out by now? How many of you would have been long? Okay, I'm in a counter trend trade. I see the value. It is a great tool. Yeah, I'm amazed by it too, and it's my system. Okay, what amazes me, because you're like, well, how could you be amazed? It's your system. Well, because all these orders are something that I would have to calculate myself. Now, I just watch the orders. I don't calculate anything. So you don't realize what a burden that is off my back. Like all I have to do is wait for the signal, and then all I have to do is trade around the signal. I don't have to worry about where do I get in? Where do I get out? Is my stop in the right place? Should I be trailing my stop? I don't have to do any of that. I just sit and watch. Like that really, like, even though I doing this manually is very cumbersome. When it's automated like this, it's nice to watch, like, when it's going your way. But when it's not going your way, you don't get stuck if you respect the orders. You know how many times I'd be like, it's going against me. I'm like, it's nonsense. I'll just hold on to it. And then it really goes against me, right? And now I'm stuck in it. I'm like, I'll hold it till tomorrow. It'll come back, right? And then you get caught in this thing and it moves a ridiculous amount and you get, you know what happens, right? Here, there's none of that. It's like, it goes here, you get out. Don't even question it. Just get out. If a new signal shows up, you can get back in. Or if you get a warning, you want to be aggressive, you can get back in. I'm getting out of one. I'm up $223. Oh, I just bought two back. All right, fine. I bought two back. Locked in some profit. Wait a minute. I got three on right now. I just short two more. I think I shorted more. Let me switch this to one. I only want to have one on. Okay, so I got out of two. Let's take a look and see what that looks like here. I'm still short one. So I locked in 88, 15, 30. So like $100 and something there, right? 88 plus 30. So that's like $120, something like that. I locked in on paper. Okay, not bad for 4:30 in the afternoon. And I still have one on. So should I have gotten out of those? That's going to be up to you. Okay, I got out because I don't want to deal with this. And plus, I'm going to be wrapping up the stream momentarily. But it's a profit. And my stop now, my trailing stop is basically at break even. So really, this one that I have on is really risk-free if you think about it. Okay. And in reality, if I got another sell signal around here, I'd probably put one back on, right, to have two again, to see if this thing, was just noise and it works its way lower. So my trailing stop back to break even. All right, I got the sell. I'm going to put on one. Let's put on one. Maybe I got shaken out in that noise, whatever, but I locked in some profit. No big deal. Now I'm short the second one again. Let's see if it goes, let's see if this was noise and it gives this whole thing back and works toward the take profit. You see how I trade around the price action when I have these levels as a reference. Hey, Nader, how are you? Is not sending. I'm in front of it and it alerts at 2 to 3 bars. Any thought? Wait, so TW is not on time. I'm in front of it and it's alerts after 2 to 3 bars. I'm not sure what that is, Nader. I don't know what you mean. You mean when you go here and you use this? You talking about this? Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about the signal itself? Because the signals show up. They require the candle to close. So I'm not sure what you mean by that. Maybe you can explain that further. The signals require the candles to close. Okay, so like for example here, right? It shows you this signal up here, but the signal occurred actually on this candle close. And if you're comparing to my charts, keep in mind there's like a 30-second delay or something like that between me and you. There may be a longer one on YouTube. So you're not seeing me exactly in real time here. Maybe that's what you mean? I'm not sure what you mean. We'll let this run for a little bit more. And, you know, because it's a very slow time of day. Any questions? Yeah, so Nader, can you explain that further? I'm not sure what you mean. All right, got the trailing stop. Look at the trailing stop going my way, right? See this? So, guys, this was a full risk trade, okay? At this point, this is no longer a trade that has risk. I'm in a risk-free trade. If the next candle pops out and does this to me, I'm going to lose. I'm going to give back my profit, okay? So I'm going to give back the $55 that I'm up. And because I put on another one, I may lose a little money. But how much money do you think I'm going to lose if this thing does this to me? Which can do. I'm not going to hold it all the way up to here. My trailing stop is here. I'm respecting the stop. See, there it goes. But let's see. I'm not going to react to what I see. I'm just going to let it either reaches that trailing stop or it does not. Let's see. But the whole point is the trailing stop has protected me. And I'm confident. I know where to get out. Okay, let's see what we've got. A new candle here on the 1 minute. Let's see where it goes. Keep in mind, 1 minute candles, 1 minute charts can be very noisy. All right. So Nader, can you explain that further? I still don't understand what you mean. Also, people, if you have a technical question, you can send me a message on TradingView. You can also reach out to Steen as well in the Discord chat. He's there. Okay, look, see, there we go. I'm going to pop out of this. It's not giving you the signal on time. Okay, but on time, what do you mean on time? Like, if you're comparing it to mine, it's because I'm ahead of you. Like, there's a delay on YouTube, if that's what you mean. At my side, it is the same. 2 bars after, especially on a smaller time frame. Oh, okay. Oh, so you guys are saying, Steen, are you guys saying I was at 15 minutes and it sent me? Oh, so it's like, oh, it sends it like the next candle, I guess, or something. So you are talking about these here. Okay, that's something we can look into. Because obviously we want that at the time it comes out. In my case, removing the script, I close and then reopen and then remove and add, and now it is okay. Interesting. Okay, thanks. Thanks for the feedback, guys. So you had to open and you had to close the platform, remove. So to get the update, you had to remove this and open and close the platform, reopen it, and then put it back on your chart again. And you had to jump through a bunch of hoops. I don't know why that is. I thought that I thought the updates would just be pushed automatically. All right, I'm about to get tapped out here. Okay, but again, I'm not losing money. Okay, I'm minus $7, and the reason why I'm minus the $7 is because I put on another contract over here, so it's against me a little bit. But okay, you know, so I made $100 and something. I can give back $7. Okay. So yeah, that's a thing to look into. That's why we collect this feedback, guys. Thank you for the feedback. All right, I'm gonna get out of this. We got 2 contracts. We're probably gonna hit that trailing stop. I'm gonna buy them back. Tap it out. I'm gonna wait until it vanishes. If it doesn't vanish, I'm gonna stay in it. What's it gonna be? Tap or no tap? It's like, I'm not gonna tell you. Oh, I guess not. Okay, I'll just stay in it longer then. Okay. See, good thing I stayed in it. Oh, nice. There we go. Good thing I stayed in it. Do any of the trades as a wash sale? I'm not. Do you mean for like tax purposes? I'm not sure what you mean there. Whoa, look at this. I'm still short. I guess some news came out. Oh, I'm not. You're going to have to talk to like a tax professional on that one. I'm not sure about that. It's a good question. Look, so we went to the take profit, and this thing called the new signal. What happened to my old signal, Steen? This thing should be trailing now. This thing just put on a new signal on the 1 minute. You see that, Steen? I'm still short. The trailing stop kept me in, and now we have a new signal. So I'm going to cover one here. Let's hold on. Or maybe I'll just cover them both. Why not? Just take the money. Okay, so I'm out. All right, that was a nice move that came out of nowhere. And I stayed in because what? It was right at the trailing stop, and then it turned right before it tapped out, never tapped out. And as you can see, I stayed in, and we got this nice move out of nowhere. That's a random move. Now, Steen, you see how that happened? How that is not yet okay. You see what just occurred though? Like that trade, how the trade changed? So that was $137 I locked in there. On top of the 120 whatever I made before that. Okay? So people, when I demonstrate, oh look, I should have stayed in it. When I demonstrate these things, I mean, yeah, I take a couple of losing trades, but as you can see, I make the money back in front of you. Yeah, sure, it's on paper. You could say, well, it's easy on paper. But I could do this with real. I just don't have the real account set up over here. But what you're seeing is real in terms of signals. Steen, you saw that? You saw that situation with the trade? Okay, this is how we make updates. He sees that and he makes the change. Because this thing should be trailing. Right? The trailing stop was up here. Remember that? And I stayed in the trade because it never vanished. And then I got this move here. And then it gave a new signal. Okay, cool. And that signal, by the way, guys, was this trade right here. Right? So I was in it all the way from back there, short on that counter trend trade. Anyway, all right, cool. So people, all right, I know I've been talking for a while. I like to demonstrate this. I like to show you how this thing works. All right. Yeah, we have to make a couple of updates, but he's made a few, and it's still a work in progress in that area, but it still works. Even though the trade vanished and it updated the trade, if I was still in it, I'd still be in a profitable trade. So, okay, I just have to manage that. Okay. So it's still usable. Believe me. So any questions? So again, if you want to try it out, go to the link that you could see on the screen here. It takes you to this page. I'll just show you one more time. Scroll to the middle of the page. You can register here. All right. Register for 14-day free trial. Takes you to this page. make sure you put your username in here, your TradingView username, put it in there, and then I can send you the invite. Okay. Now, obviously, there's some fooling around with when we do updates. Make sure you press the boost button on the script so that you get a notification that we made an update. But then you're going to have to play with it, like pull it off, remove it from your chart, put it back on, kind of thing. Right? Close the platform, restart the platform. That's a TradingView thing. I don't think we have any control over that. Okay. Problem is when you change a setting, it will also be reset. Oh, so maybe that's why, because I'm constantly changing these settings. Is that what you're talking about, Steen? I'm constantly changing these. Cool. Well, so Nugs, yeah. I mean, let us know how you do with it. Okay, this thing should be stopping out. Let us know how you do with it, and feel free to share charts or share your experience in the chat, in the community chat. And by the way, all TradeScanner members, you guys are going to have access to other chat rooms and stuff. I still have to work on the permissions, but there's more to the package than just the script. Just so you know. I mean, if you read the description there's a few other things, right? If you look at this, there's a few other things. If you notice in here, okay, there's a few other things. So I'm working on those, and those will be coming soon. But of course, the most important thing is the script. But there's going to be some other features as well that will provide support, so that you learn how to use it. Like these streams that I'm doing here, you learn how this thing works firsthand. You could see me using it in advanced ways, and stuff like that, and you get more insight. And plus the student meetings, I'll be covering stuff like the sizing and all that. Okay, so all right, cool, you guys. All right, so I don't see any other questions. I see a number of people watching, and there's only like 3 people participating in the chat. I think, Steen, I think we have bots watching. I think these are all bots. We have like 3 people in here, and then there's like 145 bots. All right. Anyway, you guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something from this. I hope to see you on the free trial. Catch me every Monday. Plus, I'll be streaming again throughout the week. I don't have a schedule for the week, but I'll pop in here and there to do some more examples. This week we have our student meeting on Wednesday, so I will be doing that. And I think I'm going to doing an open house so people can see that as well. Okay, but guys, if you want to get in that, make sure you're in the community, because I put the invites. If we're going to do the invite, we'll put it in the community chat. Okay, it will not stop yet because it wants to trailing stop, and the trailing stop is still. Oh, okay. But that will also be okay. That the trade close and the stop loss when right. Oh, so if I took that off, if I took the trailing stop off, then okay, I got you. Okay, cool. Thank you for the explanation. All right, you guys. So again, thanks for watching. Hold on a second here. I just want to point something out. In this situation, it basically stopped out, right? But because the trailing stop is not, the trailing stop mode is on, it never stopped out. But you see how it came back to the entry? If you were not in it, this would be an opportunity to get in. Okay. Or if you had shorted one and you happened to stay in it, right? This would be your opportunity to short the second one. Again, that's advanced usage. All right. In the beginning, I mean, you could paper trade that way. But if real money is on the line, then it's probably better to be more conservative, okay, in the beginning, until you understand this thing on a more intimate level. Okay. All right, cool. All right, you guys, I'm just looking around to see if I see any questions. All right, so again, check the links in the description, join the community, all that other stuff. And enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your evening, wherever you are in the world. And hold on. There we go. And thank you for watching.